Hey kids, welcome back to Worth a Spin. I'm your host, just Jack. Just me and some records. So the new and used record store sign is on. We deal with new and used records here. Mainly used yet again today. It looks like we're dealing with new. It happens. New comes in sometimes and you shuffle through. Alrighty. New's not necessarily bad. Alright. So, let's take a look here. I just finished up listening to this one here. I wanted to get it in before I did my little review, so to speak. And so I found this doing a little record store looking. Imagine that. And so I found this, and this is cool. I've been to this place before, and they tell me they've had this record for a couple of years, but I never saw it. But I don't know. Sometimes things float around in record stores. People pick them up, take them somewhere else, and drop them in there, and they stay there. You know, places like, I don't know, Conway Twitty and Billie Eilish. Stuff people don't look at very often. All right, anyway. So, anyhow, this popped up, and I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. And I do remember they were doing a series of these. I heard Beetle Dustino talk about it. He was pretty excited about getting it and finishing his collection of them. And as we know, I'm not a fan of colored vinyl, but it's something that you've just got to learn to deal with because it's there. It's not going to stop. Everything is pretty much colored vinyl. You can get black still. It's just, you got to look for it. And I don't know. Some things still do come in colored black, but for the most part, it's colored vinyl. And it is what it is. Whatever. We'll get it. We're moving on. So anyhow. So yeah, this is something I haven't tracked down because, to be honest, I probably have enough versions of all these albums by this in particular artist. I say that, but then I buy more. So I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, so this is the first one I've gotten in this series, so it's cool. And I just finished listening to it, and I will say it's an improvement over the original. It does sound much better than the original one does. But, remastering, that's what happens. So, yeah, it sounds good, and it's kind of cool. It's all right. So, anyway, this first one we're going to look at is Paul McCartney Tug of War. Yep, and this is the limited edition blue vinyl one. There you go. There's your sticker. And one of the reasons this probably sounds so good, kids, because made in Germany. I always say, personal opinion, but I think the stuff that's made in Germany and Japan sounds better than the stuff that gets made here in America. So whatever it is, I hear they use better vinyl. They're not so cheap as we are. And speaking of cheap, prices of new records are not going down any. And I just saw a thing where it's like $3 billion they made last year off records or something, off new releases. So I think it's time they give us a break and lower these prices because obviously it's not costing them too much to make it if they're profiting that much. Anyway, so here we go. Paul McCartney, Tug of War. Love this album. Great album. It was a big turning point for Paul. That's the front cover. This is just pretty much, and I like when they do these this way, personally. It's just the same as the original album if you bought it in '82. Want to hear a story? I like to tell stories. There's always a story. So anyway, when this album first came out, maybe it was my cheap yard sale record player at the time. Maybe it was defects. I don't know. Whoa, almost lost that. But I returned this album like 5 or 6 times to Walmart because the same song in the same place would jump every time. So I kept taking it back. And I finally got one that didn't jump. So I don't know. Maybe I had one of those, those old, I found it at a yard sale. It was a big old suitcase. And I mean suitcase, like you can put stuff here for a week for vacation. Stereo. And I remember it so vividly. And when you played it for more than, 30, 40 minutes, it had this smell to it. It's kind of a burning smell. Not burning in a bad way because it never caused a fire. But it was just, you could smell it. And I remember always smelling it, and it was kind of when I would turn it on and it started doing that, it was kind of like a comforting smell to me. Some people don't find burning smell is very comforting. I really don't. But anyway, that's just a story. But yeah, I went through like 5 or 6 copies of this thing and finally got one that didn't jump. And I was like, man, it's about time. I was about to give up. I know Walmart was tired of seeing me come back in with it. But that's what customer service is there for. Service the customers. This is Your Inner Steve. Again, pretty much like your original. It's got the lyrics on it. I don't think any of us need the lyrics to this album, but somebody out there is new to the world of the Beatles and Paul McCartney, and they do need the lyrics. It came with this nifty little download code, and I don't care to share because I've already used it. But yeah, it was cool. I like this. I like these downloads. When they give you the cards, you buy the album, which was not cheap, and you get the download card for free. I say not cheap. This was like $25. It's really was not bad. You know, and you get the download card. That's really cool. It's an added bonus to it, and I don't mind that. And then you can put it on your phone and listen to it at work or whatever you want to do with it. So it's getting camping season again. The wife wants to go back doing some camping, so I'll have it on the phone for camping too. So anyway, yeah, that was cool. So this is the disc. We'll take a look at the disc, and this is kind of cool. You got this blue vinyl. Is kind of nifty looking. Hold it up to the light. You can't see. Hold it up to the light. You can kind of see through it. But anyway, this is your side A. Or side 1, and this is your side B or side 2. Depends how you look at it. It's labeled, but I just make up my own things. Yeah, it sounds really good. I was impressed, like right off the bat. I was like, man, that sounds better than the original one does. So that's cool, but you want that. I mean, if you buy a remastered or reissued thing that is made years later, you want it to sound better than what the original does. A lot of originals I prefer to listen to over the reissues, remasters, but every now and then you get one, and this just sounded really, really good. So I just finished listening up to it, and it was good. So as usual, I take it out. I take the hype sticker off and put it on my protector thingy because I want to keep them. When I was at, before hype stickers were a thing, when I was a kid, I did the same thing. I didn't peel them off. You know, we didn't have protectors and stuff for records back then. You just, you left the cellophane on them. I did, But if for some reason I opened it and took the cellophane off of it, then I would tear or cut the hype sticker off and slide it down in the album or the CD or whatever. Because that's just how I was. Wasn't anything special back then. It's just how I was. So I've always done that. All right, so next one, this is cool. I was excited about this. I've been looking for these, not like desperately searching and, big deal kind of thing. Just if I see them, I'll get them because I do love this band and I love their albums and I wanted to get, I got 3 or 4 on remastered on vinyl, remastered ones. And it sounds so good. And this is a band that really benefits from a half-speed master. And it sounded really awesome. And I've been looking for the rest, and I haven't been able to find them. And I found these 2, so it's just leaving me missing 1 right now that I still need to find. And that is my all-time favorite album by this band. I think it's the best that they've done. I think a lot of people feel that way. And every time I see these half-speed masters, that's the one that I can't find. These 2 are the first time I've seen these, but they had like 5 or 6 of them. So that was a pretty good chunk. So I probably just missed them. I know they've been out for a little bit. So I probably just missed them along the line, but that's the way it is. But anyway, my all-time favorite one is Even in the Quietest Moments. That tells you who we're talking about. And that one I really want to get the half-speed master of that. But I've not found it. Every time I find them, there's only like maybe Paris. I think Paris is usually sitting around. And Crisis, What Crisis? Otherwise, they're pretty much hard to find. So we're going to start out with this one. This is Breakfast in America. We're all familiar with this one. This is the Pentacle of Supertramp. This was their masterpiece. This was the one. And I love this album. I love this album as much as I do all the other albums. Is it their best? I don't think so. It was the most commercial, we'll say, because most of the songs got played on the airways quite a bit. So it was a huge commercial thing for Supertramp. And it's awesome, and I love it. It's just not my favorite. My favorite is Even in the Quietest Moments. Again, I think that one is just the pinnacle of awesomeness. That and yeah, even in the quietest moments. And there's another one. I can't think of it. That's the way my brain works anymore. It does not retain knowledge very well, unfortunately. But yeah, this is great. So, and again, you're just, you got your typical, and I like it this way. I don't have to have a new refresh special done deal. I'm good with the original. It was the original front cover. This was the original back cover. I know, because I have the originals downstairs. This is your original, same as your original inner sleeve. You got your lyrics on there. And these don't come with download codes, which kind of suck. But whatever. So there's that. And we'll take a look at the vinyl itself, which is not colored. So you won't hear me complaining about that. I'm not complaining about colored. I like black, whatever. Anyway, here's side A. Here's side B. There you go. And yeah, it's half-speed masters and half-speed at Abbey Road. And these were pressed in Germany too. And they sound very excelente. And again, it's the same label. The label's a little lighter. The original labels were darker. So, I don't know why they kind of do that. If that's try to keep somebody from passing it off. I know when the Beatles US model were re-released, there was something about they did some things a little differently to cover. Some of the other stuff they did a little bit differently because concern that, because of a concern that people would pass off those reissues as originals. And I could see that happening because there's a lot of stuff on Facebook Marketplace and everybody says it's the first pressing. And I either go look at it or I say, hey, can I see the album itself? And I'm automatically, I'm like, this is not an original. You know that, right? It's orange label. It's not the first pressing. But I got to kind of watch that. People get upset. I bought it on day of release. Okay. You didn't buy it on day of release in 1966, but whatever. So, and then the other one that I found, which is their last, and it is, well, okay, it's not their last, but it is their last as far as I'm concerned because a couple, they did a few albums after Roger left, and they were okay. They were good. They were okay. But it was not Supertramp. I'm one of those, if one member is no longer in the band, a founding member, and they were there for years, it's no longer the same band. It's, it's Metallica 0.20 or, Supertramp 2.0 or whatever. But it's not, to me, it's not the same band. Doesn't have the same feel. And I appreciate a band when they say, so-and-so has passed or has quit or whatever. And we're not going to go on. We only go on with, original members or whatever. And I don't know. That's, to me, most bands, and I say most because there are some exceptions here. Most bands, their best music for me is when the original lineup is there. And you have a band of members that are not original lineup members. It doesn't sound as good to me. AC/DC is a huge, as we know, is a huge contradictory to that statement because Brian Johnson walked in and it was like, bam, wow, AC/DC is, it's not that he has a lot of sound, it sounds a lot like Bon Scott, but it works, it flows, it worked. Some members can step in and replace someone, and it really works, and it's very rare for me that works. I mean, AC/DC is about the only one I can really come to mind and think, yeah, maybe Ozzy with Jakey Lee, but Ozzy's a solo and the guitar's kind of the background, I guess. I don't know how you want to look at that, but Jakey Lee was an excellent, good replacement for Randy Rhoads, but that's kind of how I feel about that. That's just me. But I really couldn't get into Supertramp once Roger left. I feel that Roger was the driving force behind Supertramp. and I miss him. He did a couple of solo albums. One was just phenomenal. I wish they'd give that the half-speed mastering. That's In the Eye of the Storm. And then the other one was not very good at all. It was okay. But I wouldn't mind seeing that getting a half-speed remaster, but it wouldn't excite me that much. So here's the cover for the final cut. And there's the back. I mean, famous last words. I'm thinking Pink Floyd today. I don't know why, but I am. This is your liner sleeve, and it's pretty much just identical as to the liner sleeve that came with the original release. And again, I like that, because if you don't have the original album, then you know what it looked like. And I don't know, I'm just funny. I'm a funny guy. I'm stuck in the past. I move in the future because I have to, because it keeps nudging me, and it's like a bull on horns, forcing me to move along, so I do it, but I'm not happy about it. This is your label, side A. And this is your label for side B. And again, these are just the exact same labels that were on the original release. Just these are a lighter color. The original labels are a little darker. No big deal. So yeah, this was the end for Supertramp as far as I'm concerned. A lot of people feel that Supertramp moved on with Brother Where You Bound and was good. And Brother Where You Bound was not bad. It was an okay album, but it just wasn't that great for me. And it's just a notable distance without Roger. Like I said, some bands are like that. Metallica's kind of I was big on Metallica for a long time. They were one of my favorite bands, and they're kind of one of those two that's kind of an exception to the rule. And Jason Newsted left, I think. I think they stayed pretty, because I mean, you're talking heavy metal. There's not a lot going on there. Some members are more prominent in a band when they're out there, and then others aren't. So I think Metallica was probably another exception to the rule for a little while there. But they got to where it was kind of. But anyway, we're not talking Metallica. We're talking Paul McCartney and Supertramp right now. So there you go. Paul McCartney, worth the spin. It is worth the spin. Even if you have an old scratchy copy of this. This is a great album. And it's still to this day, Here Today gets me every time. And I think more today than usual, because of the fact that I just recently saw, some stuff yesterday of Paul and how he's aging, and he's doing it very gracefully. But this band, the Beatles, have been a dominant factor, part of my life for so long that I don't know. I know they're both getting up there, and it's just a world without Beatles is going to kind of suck. Their music will always be there, their interviews will always be there, but not to have those members alive to continue saying, this is what it was like. And that's why I love the anthology, and I think the anthology, and I have nothing against these new movies, these new biopics that they're doing. Hey, you want to go see them? Go see them. I'm not going to. But I don't see the need in having new biographies done of the Beatles. They did the anthology. Anthology was it. All three members were there, and they all sat together, and they all told the story. And this is what it was like. And you can't really I don't think you can do any better than that. I mean, you could they could probably do an interesting film, sure. And I can kind of see the point. We're doing 4 films on, each individual Beatles point of view, but even Paul and Ringo are not thrilled about this, and not, really, from what I'm reading, not really quite as on board as maybe said that they are. I mean, you have anthology. Honestly, once a band does something like anthology, you're done. When they all get there and they're together and they're being, they're playing nice and they're saying this is what it was like, you can't do any better. You can't come up with another story it's going to rival what the original members said. But we'll get off of that. We'll see how those movies do when they come out. I hope you all go see them. I hope you enjoy them. I won't be seeing them, but whatever. And so there we go with that. And now we have the Supertramp remasters. I love them. These things sound great. They just sound phenomenal. Half-speed masters always sound really good. And my understanding, and I don't understand all the this and that of making records and stuff, obviously, or I'd be making records. But everything starts out as a half-speed master and gets downgraded from there. It's a weird thing I read once on the internet. And it kind of explains the process. It was because someone wanted to know why half-speed masters sound like they do. And this person that's in the know, so, it's like they start out that way, but then we kind of downgrade them. Then we upgrade them again, and we do this and that to it, and that enhances it. And it was quite a long article, and I don't remember it all. I'm lucky I remembered my name today. So there you go, Supertramp. That's my new additions to the collection of 2 Supertramp high half-speed masters and Mr. McCartney colored vinyl. And I know more of there's, I think, maybe 10 of his albums have been done now in the remastering with the different colored vinyl. I've never saw him in the past, and if I did, I was like, colored vinyl, I'll pass. So I didn't mess with him. But I got this one. I was like, I'm going to get it. Why not? Beetle Destino talks so highly of him. So I thought, I'll get it and check it out. So it's good. It's really good. I like it. So now if I find the others, I'll buy them too. At retail. I'm not paying a crazy eBay thing, but if I can find them, yeah, I'll get them. That's all I got for you this video. I do have a couple of Ringo Stars coming to me. So I came across this auction on Whatnot. I like Whatnot. I have to really watch it because it's a bad thing if you're not very careful. And I see people on there like, my significant other's checking the card. I got to watch the purchases. And they know I'm getting like, who is this, this guy is. And there's one in particular seller that I watch a lot. And he owns a vacuum cleaner shop. He's very entertaining. He gets a lot of really good stuff in. He's really good priced. He's got some more of the Beatles Japanese stuff in that I need, but he's upped the price on them. He wants like $60 a piece for them now, and that's kind of more than I'm wanting to pay. So I'm still looking at other avenues to finish my Beatles Japanese collection at a more affordable rate than that. So, but anyway, Ringo Starr. I have 2 Ringo Stars. I believe them to be. I'm told that they are first pressings. I'm looking highly forward to getting those. And I do have 2 more Beatles Japanese ones that I got from somebody else on Whatnot, and they're not, I don't think they're the quality that I'm getting from this other guy, but they look really good from what I can see, and they were a lot more reasonably priced. $60 for an album is just, unless it's, you're talking something crazy, first pressing of Please Please Me, or, something in that area. Otherwise, it's kind of crazy. So I got those coming. So we'll take a look at those when they come. And other than that, I still have the other project that I'm not going to mention, that I keep mentioning that I'm going to do. I'm going to do it today because I'm stuck at home and I have some yard stuff to do and that. But I don't have a lot to do. So I'm going to get that project today done in a video-wise of it. And get it in the can, as they say, so I can get it up there. All right, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to me babble on. I probably lost half of you right after the 10-minute point, but you stuck around that long. I appreciate it. So you listened to what I had to say about these albums, which is the main thing. They're all worth the spend. I would pick them up if I were you. And if you had the old releases, I would upgrade. And that's just how I feel. So, thanks for watching. I appreciate it very much. If you like this video, and I hope you did, you will give it a thumbs up. Don't give it the other thumbs thing. We don't talk about that. But give it a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. Or subscribe. Love getting new subscribers. Leave a comment. I love answering comments. And I'm not as good. Trying to stay good on it. It's getting that time of year. Like I said, it's summertime. It's getting the busier time of year. Grandkids have things to go to, and lots of yard work to do. And still have to work and try to fit in, looking for some records here and there. So it's a much busier time than it is in the winter. So I try to keep up with the comments and up with people who contact me on a sort of regular basis about my video content and stuff. I appreciate that, guys. And again, I appreciate everybody who subscribes to this video, who watches these videos or my channel. And I hope you get something from it. I hope you're not sitting there going, I wish there was a point to this. I hope you're getting something from it. So thanks for tuning in. If you like, watch some of my past videos. I hope you will. And I hope you'll tune in for my future videos. I do have a big project that I'm working on. And I'm hoping that this project goes through. It involves the help of someone else. And it kind of depends on their time schedule. And if they really want to do it, I think they're a little nervous about being on camera, so to speak. And so we'll see what happens. So we're still in the process of it. And the thing that I've asked for them to do for this in particular series that I want to do, they're working on. And I think they're close to being done with it. I think their opinion will be extremely valuable. I think people will really get something out of it when it's done. I hope it will be an interesting thing, I think. So we'll find out more about that here if it's in the future. So I hope you'll tune in into the future in case I do get that big project going. I think you'll enjoy it. And again, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, guys. Thanks so much for tuning into my channel and showing a little love. Speaking of love, sprinkle a little love out there today, wherever you go and whatever you do, because the world does not have enough love in it, and obviously it needs a lot more. Also, if you don't mind, if you can find it in your heart, if you have the time, do one good deed for somebody today. Doesn't matter what it is. Say, hey, I like your hair. Ooh, them glasses look nice on you. You know what? Let me get this door. Because sometimes those small little things are huge things to someone else, I should say. Huge things to someone else. So you never know what little tiny thing you can do that'll change somebody else's day and put them in a better mood, a better perspective, and feel loved. And in the end of the day, that's what we're here for. To love one another, make one another feel loved, try to enjoy our lives on this planet amidst the whirlwind of storms that go on around us, and to listen to plenty of music. So, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. I've gone too long, I know. I see the producer over going, looks like a helicopter. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed the video.